Yeah.
There is a new trend now that governors see the Senate as the next destination after their second term in office. Currently, there are over 15 senators in the Senate who are former governors that have served 1 or 2 terms in their states. Some of them include former governors Theodore Orji of Abia State, Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, Gabriel Suswam of Benue State, Sam Egu of Ebonyi State, Danjuma Goje of Gombe, Dixon Serake of Bayelsa, among others. Now, although many have accused the governors of being selfish and unpatriotic, more governors who are rounding up their second tenure have declared interest to vie for the Senate, with some unseating their incumbent senators during elections. Political affairs analyst Jide Ojo joins us in the studio to talk about this trend. And thank you for joining us on Daybreak this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us.
It's good to have you. Well, I mean, this is no news anymore. Anyways, it's becoming like a tradition in our democratic journey in Nigeria so far, where you see, governors becoming senators and then maybe senators also becoming governors somehow. That's a trend. Are you comfortable with this arrangement?
It's not about whether I'm comfortable or not comfortable. The point is, legally speaking, nothing bars a former governor from going to Senate. And interestingly, let me cite an instance to you. There was a deputy governor, Ogiri Ajene, in Benue State, who left the deputy governor position to go and contest for councillorship.
Interesting.
Yeah, nothing stops you. I think it's just political ambition of some people. They want to be...
So maybe politics now becomes like a career sort of.
Of course, now for some people it's a career.
That you build, over the years, maybe from a local government chairman to a governor, and then from a governor to a senator.
Whichever way you look at it.
In that direction.
It's people who are not politically inclined that will see anything wrong in it.
Okay, well, Mr. Ojo.
Yeah.
My first question is this practice good for our democracy?
It is.
Okay, then the next question is this. Will you call it a free and fair process? For instance, a governor in a state, when he's finishing his 8-year tenure, it becomes a case of offer of first refusal. It is when he says, I'm not going to the Senate, that somebody from that area can now vie for that seat. Is that okay?
My sister, I'm a political scientist and I don't mix law and morality are not the same thing. Let me give you, first let me land on my initial thought, which is that it is the ambition of some governors to be what they call GSM. You know what GSM is in politics? Oh, okay. Let me enlighten you. GSM is governor, senator, minister. And there are few of them. It's a cult. It's a new cult. You move either from being a governor to a senator, from senator to a minister, or vice versa. You can reorder it. Whichever way comes first. And you have seen people like that. A governor. Look at Bala Muhammad of Bauchi. I believe that's your home state. He's moved from Senate to become minister, from minister. He's now a governor. Damo Alero of Kebbi, governor, senator, no, he hasn't been minister.
Senator, minister. I was minister of FCT.
Oh, God bless you. So you see, that's some people's ambition. They want to taste the entire circle.
Yeah.
And now coming back to my sister's question, I've seen a sitting governor lose election. An election, he quote and unquote superintend. It doesn't make it. See, in 2019, my governor in Oyo State, Abiola Ajimobi, who broke the jinx for the first time, was the first Oyo State governor to be re-elected. We call it Kosheleri. That means it has never happened. Kosheleri governor. This has never happened. But what happened? The same governor who won 2 terms lost a senatorial ambition. It was his own senatorial seat that PDP won. APC won the other 2. Why will a sitting governor who has never, who brought the jinx of a 2-term governor, Bola Ige, as famous as he was in his lifetime, never got a re-election in Oyo State? Omolulo and Lawyer, Akala and all of them. But this one got a re-election. But he lost a senatorial seat. What about Gombe? Dankwambo. Dankwambo was a 2-term governor of Gombe State. He was there for 8 years. But as a sitting governor, superintended over that election, but lost.
Same goes for Adamu Muazu of Bauchi as well.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Mr. Ojo, that happens. In fact, there were some states where the people said, no, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so the governors lost. However, we have more governors winning their seats.
Yes.
More than.
Now, let's look at the merit. Let's look at the merit. The merit far outweighs the demerit. What we should be mindful of is it free, fair, and, was there any form of manipulation? And the few examples we cited will tell you that people can only read when they are popular. And if Muazu, as a sitting governor, will lose in Bauchi after 8 years, if Dankwambo will lose, if Ajimobi will lose, there are about 5 of them that lost even as a sitting governor. It then tells you that it is not a automatic winning for any governor who wants to come to Senate. You must also earn it. If you are not popular with the people, if your 8 years or 4 years is a disaster, people will punish you. They will rig you out. Okay. Let me put it more bluntly. Even that same election, they will collect your money, you will give them money, they will tell you it's our money. Bauchi has done that a number of times. People will give money, Bauchi will police their election result down to INEC office and say, look, we know the result, or we have it here. Any attempt to manipulate. That's how Shakara became the governor in Kano. Defeating what is his name, who later became Minister of Defense. Kwakwaso. In 2003.
Mr. Ojo, the case of Bauchi is a bit different.
No, I've cited Kano now.
Yes, Bauchi people are a different. Bauchi people are a different set of voters.
What if Kano?
Bauchi people are this set of people that will say, this is who we want and this is who we're going to get. That's Bauchi. Yes. They are different. In fact, I remember during the one election, when they took the light, they went and brought their lamps and all of that. Bauchi voters are different. However, most often than not, the governors of the state win the Senate, not because they are popular. In fact, we have had states where the governors did nothing as governors, but they moved. It was like promotion. It's like, I'm in primary 4, I go to primary 5.
But do you see it as promotion, actually?
Well,
is it promotion? Because, wait, let's put it in context. You are a governor. A governor controls the state resources. If a Lagos state governor comes to Senate, he's poorer. Because as a senator, you are not controlling any vote anyway. Even there is no governor that will come to Senate and think he's coming. It's just like, okay, I still feel
I want to remain in power.
No, not in power. I want to remain relevant. Yeah. That's the word. I want to remain, because the ultimate for anybody is to be a governor. That's why you see speculations that our Minister of Justice and Attorney General want to go and contest for election in Kebbi. Because as a governor, you control vote. Let me cite instance, and this is in public domain. Rochas Okorocha, when he was dragged before EFCC, when EFCC dragged him to court, you can Google it. He said, look, it's funny. They said I stole 2.9 billion. In 8 years, I didn't collect my security vote, which is 8 billion. So as a governor, you are earning 1 billion every year as security vote that you don't have to account for. Will you get that kind of money in Senate?
Okay, now let's take a look at this now. Talking about what is costing government and the cost of running governance. As a former governor, you are entitled to pension.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, you are taking pension as a former governor, and here you are a serving senator. You're also taking some, monies that comes into your allowances, remuneration, and all of that. Don't you think that this puts pressure on government's coffers?
Exactly, I disagree with that norm. It is inhuman, it is ungodly, it is immoral. You cannot, as a former governor on life pension, come to Senate and still be drawing salaries. That needed to be looked into. And I think there are moves. I don't know whether there has been official move on that count. I know that there are efforts, for instance, to even stop former governors receiving pension, life pension. Zamfara has abrogated his own law.
Yes.
And I think Lagos, Sanwo-Olu at some point said he was going to sponsor a bill.
Because this gets complicated, especially when you look at those who have served in the military, for instance, and now they are retired, right? So you get pension as a former military personnel. We have some of them in politics, and some of them have even become governors. So take, for instance, some governor of Plateau State before, John Ajang. He was a military, personnel governor at the point, and now
he's in Senate.
He's in Senate now, and then also as a civilian governor. So you could look at all of this.
I believe this has to be streamlined. And I think, unfortunately, we have a presidency that is a bit laid back on certain things that should have been of urgent public importance. Because I don't see why, even if you are not a military retiree, even some of those people you see as former governor or current governor or senator, they are retired. Some are retired PAMSEC, retired director in public service. They are already receiving pension. And now you become governor, you are also getting life pension. I have never worked in public service or civil service, so I really don't know what the rule book says. But morally speaking, and in terms of fiscal prudence, I don't think it's right for anyone who is already a pensioner to draw another pension. You shouldn't be drawing two pensions at the same time. But I'm looking at the legality of issue of somebody leaving the seat as a governor coming to Senate. Like I said, it's just to remain relevant and influential. It doesn't add, in fact, I'm not sure any one of them will say they are making more money because they are not controlling any votes. The worst case, best case scenario, you are made chairman of quote and unquote juicy committee. They call it juicy committee. But it's also influence. It's influence peddling. And you also see some of them leaving Senate, the same Senate you are talking about, leaving Senate to go and take up another appointment. Look at Abdullahi Adamu. Abdullahi Adamu was in Senate for 11 years, but he has just resigned to take up the national chairmanship of APC. His deputy, one of the vice, the deputy national chairman, North,
yes.
also resigned. We also saw the current deputy governor of Zamfara State was in Senate before his appointment to come and be deputy governor. I don't know why I would leave Senate.
So again, we'll talk more about this. We'll take a short breather. But when we come back, I want us to talk about the implication of this in our political space. Because again, if you look at this set of people, at a point, Nigerians sometimes will complain, oh, why do we keep recycling the same faces, the same people over and over? It's because these are the only people that we can see. But how about the others who are also, qualified to take on?
Before you take that break, how is it that a governor that is a sitting governor, he had powers to do a lot of things to change his state. He doesn't do that. What kind of representation is he going to give his people in the National Assembly? I think we'll talk about that when we come back.
Exactly. So please stay with us. When we come back, we'll have more guests joining us on the program, and then we'll continue. Please stay.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve their sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
All right, thank you for staying with us. This is Daybreak, reaching you live from the nation's capital in Abuja. Now added to the group, for discussion is political affairs analyst Ali Bob, and he joins us to talk about this, new trend where governors are retiring to the Senate, sort of like a retirement home, for the Senate. And we are talking about, whether or not there are merits or demerits to this trend. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let Mr. Jide talk to us, about, the point that we were making, as regards, whether or not this is good for our democracy. I mean, how do you keep having the same people recycle themselves as if there are no other options? I mean, this is a country of over 200 million Nigerians. Isn't it just fair that when one serves in a particular capacity, it gives room or gives space for others to also, display their own, merit, what they have to offer?
Thank you very much. On a lighter mode, I like the fact that we are now 2-2 goalless draw, so there is no cheating. You people were overwhelming me with your questions, but now we are equal partner. Like Stella said, you see, I try to distill morality and politics. You are hinting at morality. Are there no other people? Why are they? But you see, he who is afraid of throwing a dice will never throw six. You must be daring. You must be ready to take risk to be profitable in politics. If you are counting beans, you won't get anywhere in politics because it's about risk taking. It's like playing Baba Jebu with your money. You either win or lose. But having said that, there's a lot of merit in it because experience, they say, is the best teacher. If you have been a chief executive of a state and you are in Senate, you are more mature, your temperament, your demeanor, your everything is supposed to be measured and to you are able to advise. And don't forget, we talked about the Senate being the upper legislative chamber, where even when you look at the qualification requirement, for House of Reps is 30 years, for Senate is 35 years. That means it's people who are a bit more mature that are supposed to be in Senate. And there isn't anything fundamentally flawed in having somebody being in the Senate for a long period. Today, Joe Biden is the president of America, but Joe Biden spent, 34, 37 years in Senate of U.S., representing Delaware. 34 years and some 12 days as a senator from 1970s. The only time he left Senate was to be the vice president to Barack Obama for 8 years. Then thereafter, he didn't get the ticket. Clinton's wife got it. He didn't even contest at that time. Before he now contested, and today is the oldest American president. Now, the experience he has garnered as a member of the upper legislative chamber in U.S. will count for something. He will be able to deal with the parliament or the Congress in a bipartisan manner because he has friends across the river and all of that. And that's the example I feel that we should also look in line of.
Well, but Jide, I have a concern about how this is also breeding and promoting the concept of godfatherism in our politics. Most often when this happens, this is how you get to see, okay, these same people will come up with people that they believe, are the right people that can do this thing, and then they give them their blessings, and before you know it, the political space is dominated by a kind of a group of people, a clique of people, and then a cabal of people, and that nobody can come in.
It is not peculiar to Nigeria.
That's just one concern.
It's not peculiar to Nigeria.
But we need to look at that. Let me let Ali Bob to chip in on this.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jide has already said most of the things that I wanted to hit on, but I'll just go again. For legislation requires experience. So even if you look at the Western world, in UK and in America, you see that people in the legislative arm of government are quite older. So the experience is necessary and is important. Now, coming to the Nigerian context of it, in the 8th Senate, we had about 15 former governors in the 8th Senate. What does that say? It says that, personally, I believe that these people understand power, they understand how to use it, and they know why they should be there. So,
let me let you continue.
I'll go for that. So they understand it because they know the importance. That's why they keep going into it. How they use it.
Are you sure that this is not an assumption, though?
No. How they use the power is. I'm not judging how they use the power. I'm saying that they understand they know what it is. So every election cycle, these same people come out.
Do they really know? Some of them do not really have a good track record.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm explaining to you. That I'm not addressing the way they use the power. I'm saying that they understand that this thing is important.
Okay.
So as people on the sidelines, when we keep saying they keep coming back and coming back and coming back, I believe that you had a governor that was governor for 8 years. He did not pay salaries, he did not pay pensions, and people come out to campaign for these people. At the end of the day, as much as we talk about election irregularities, people actually come out to campaign and vote for them.
Ms. Alibo, see, first of all, I listened to Mr. Ojo's explanation about the U.S. and all of that. We know that the way they operate there is totally different.
Yes,
Theirs is about service. It's about representing the people. So let's not look at it theoretically. Yes, theoretically it's not wrong. Legally it's not wrong. But are we getting value? Like, are they giving us that representation that we need?
Okay, let me. I think maybe you didn't get me clearly. Let me go again. There's this power saying that power is not given a la carte. So these people, what my explanation is, they fight for, to an extent, they struggle for these things. They don't just sit down when it comes to them. Yes, they have the resources and everything, but they put in the work. Some of these people are old, they are close to their 80s, but they are campaigning around the states.
Because they have the resources.
Yes.
And in some states, they don't even campaign. In some states, as governor, once they put in they throw their hat in that ring, they are winning in some states.
I understand that, but if you look at the first instance of a governor becoming in the Senate, it was Senator George Akume. He was the first governor that crossed that divide, and it was not particularly easy for him, because he had, at that point, he had some issues with the then president Obasanjo. So he before he got into the Senate, it was a struggle. But the point I'm trying to make is, I am not judging their performances as good. My point is more like a call to Nigerians that if at the stage they are, these people know what power is. How they use this power is subjective to our explanation, but they know what power is, and they keep putting their ring in they keep throwing their hats in the ring, and they keep putting themselves out there to contest for this power. So when people, especially when young people are clamoring that, oh, these people are coming out, they're coming out, it's more like there's a structure to it. If you want to get there, you have to throw your hat in the ring and fight for it. It will not come. I'm not defending the fact that these people are coming back. I don't think it's a democracy, so yes, they have the right to. But on moral basis, a governor that we have in the 8th Senate, we had 15 past governors. We have 36 states. We had 15 past governors in the Senate. So these people, I'm not on the sense of morality. I'm not judging, but I'm saying that Nigerians have to come to the point where we know that this thing is a struggle. We are struggling for our survival. We are struggling for our lives, literally. So when things like this happen, we should come out and face this. Like, we should come out and join the game as well.
As Nigeria is today, if you are a sitting governor and I want to contest for the same senatorial seat with you, will you say it to be a level playing field?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay.
But there have been instances where sitting governors have lost Senate.
Few instances.
Yes. But if I would chip in, Stella and Yuba, how many senators do you have? We have 109 senatorial seats. And you are talking of 15. Do the maths. Majority of those. See, one thing we need to understand, I'm involved in something which you may not know. I'm involved in capacity building for legislators. And I'm doing this for both federal and state legislators. We were at a workshop in Uyo last week, and one of the members of the State House of Assembly from Enugu State, their majority leader, said, look, this issue of rotational representation is robbing the assembly of quality service. Now, you train this crop of people for 4 years, and then they say, oh, it's the turn of another local government to produce a representative in the state assembly or in the national assembly. That's why some people never really get second term or third term, because there is an unwritten rule in their state about power shift or power rotation or stuff like that. And it robs off of quality, experienced lawmakers. Because, okay, in the whole of Senate, there is high turnover of senators. Just like there is high turnover of House of Reps members, there is high turnover of State House of Assembly members. You find that less than 30%, maximum 50% always make it back. Why? Because of issue of power rotation. So if your zone, in some states they call it zone, in some states they call it district, in some places local government, that they find a way to, so that there would be what is called more like federal character principle or no domination, particularly in a multi-ethnic, multi-tribal state. So this has robbed negatively on us in terms of quality representation.
Is it the function of that is robbing the people of quality representation, or the lack of capacity to deliver by those who are representing? Because for every legislative assembly, you have at least 4 years right? You have 4 years. So isn't 4 years enough, for you to deliver on whatever it is that you've promised to do within your term?
Don't get 4 years in the life of a democracy is peanuts. It's insignificant. What I'm trying to paint, the picture I'm trying to put before us is, if you have to change every one of that team in every 4 years, there will be no institutional memory. In fact, in some states, when I want to do facilitation and I ask, how many of you are second-timer here? You see only 1 or 2 hands.
So in that case, should we be considering changing the tenures?
No, it's not the fault of the Constitution. The Constitution does not even have a time limit for legislature. Both federal, state, or local. There's no time limit.
Perhaps
but
maybe it will buy more time for the representatives. Maybe we should consider something else, maybe a single 6-year tenure, like was proposed, some years ago. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any much difference. See, this is a wider challenge than we are painting. We are just isolating issue of the governor becoming senator. The non-performance of our parliament is deep-rooted. Many of them are in the pockets of the governor. I mean, I've seen a member of parliament who told us that they received bribe not to pass a particular legislation. They were told, the governor doesn't want this passed. Here is for your cola.
And they receive it. The legislators, they
Now,
collect
I have another concern, Mr. Jide. Now, we've seen situations where governors, for instance, because of their powers at the state level, get to decide who goes to the Senate, who goes to the House of Reps, and sometimes maybe use some of these lawmakers as stooge, as someone to just go occupy the space on my behalf. I'll be done in the next 2 years, or I'll be done in the next 4 years, and I'm coming to the Senate. So let's have that agreement. Once I'm done with my tenure, you will be stepping aside, and then I become the next senator. Something like that. How can we checkmate that?
Why do you want to checkmate that?
Okay, what if the person...
So it's an arrangement that...
Let me give you... Why do you want to checkmate that? The guy is being smart. See, let me draw 2 quick examples. 2 quick examples. Tambuwa contested for presidency in 2018, ahead of 2019. He didn't win. They've closed primaries. Somebody had already been nominated for governor under PDP. But the person stepped down and he came back. It's like that. Let me also give Doyediri in Bayelsa. The Seriake Dixon was the governor. So it was when they were to field who is the governorship candidate of PDP. He decided to field the serving senator, knowing full well that if this man wins, they get for Senate to open, and which is what happened. And the competition works for him.
Okay, let's go back to the same thing Mr. Jide said. Mr. Jide said some people don't have enough time to represent. And you also said that now they don't have enough time to represent the people, right? You said so. Now the governor who has to... Right now, I know that some governors have told the person representing the senatorial district that, look, I'm coming. Yeah. So, and he asked you that, isn't there a need to checkmate this? You said no. So I don't understand
why do you want to checkmate it? It's politics.
Checkmate it now because you said that this legislators need more time.
Who is to checkmate it, Stella? Who is to checkmate it? It's the electorate.
That goes back to the point I was trying to make, that it's the electorate that has the decision to make. Because these things, they are not illegal. It's politics. Politics is about organizing and mobilizing.
It's not everywhere the electorate can make this decision.
No, they can.
In most cases, the electorate can.
In some states.
If they decide to do protest vote,
it happens.
This is not the first time. This is not the second time. There have been protest votes over time. In the apartheid Third Republic, issue about nomination was why SDP lost Lagos. 40-member State House of Assembly won by SDP. But issue about who is to represent SDP between Femi Agbalajobi, Dakwa Sarumi became so volatile that They fought to finish. So, for all the other positions, this is an election that took place simultaneously. If you don't know, go and read that history. The House of Assembly and the governorship election took place on the same day. But while all the 40 seats went to SDP, the people of Lagos decided to vote for Femi Otedola's father, Sir, what's his first name now? He's dead, Sir Otedola. He won. He won under NRC. And you wonder, how did this happen?
Another issue of protest votes was just recent in the Dixon and Droye's case. When that happened, and the people saw what happened, and there was a protest vote. David Lyon won the election.
Yes.
It was the courts that now overturned it. So in the real sense of it, the electorate can actually make a difference.
So at what point can the electorate invoke these protest votes, quote unquote? What do we need to see before the people can decide, okay, we've had enough?
I believe
some of, like we said earlier on, why this conversation is very important is because some of those politicians, some of those lawmakers do not have a track record, that speaks well, that actually you can hold on to and say, this person delivered and they did very good and all of that. In most cases, they buy their way in, to this, to the National Assembly.
What I was going to say is, for example, I personally believe in 2015 the election was almost a protest vote. At that point, people did not really consider character, track record. What happened was we did not like what was happening and we wanted a change, and it happened. But you will not deny the fact that 2015 election reflected the yearnings of the people. That is what they wanted. They did not care about the specifics. They wanted change, and that's what happened. So. It has happened.
So should we just change because we wanted change?
That's not. I was just giving an instance of where it worked, where the elected. So, and this is just to show that it is possible. When people are tired, when the system, when it does not work anymore, people actually can do this. Do you understand? It happened. It has happened.
And it has learned. And a lot of people will say, well, we've gone for the change, and this is where we are, right? What should Nigerians be looking out for?
Okay, so I think in platforms like this and other platforms, the conversation should move towards trying to critically scrutinize the people that are throwing themselves in for elections. We have about 25 aspirants that have bought the presidential form. Most of them are not new people. Most of them have been senators, ministers, governors, different positions. Now, what have they done when they were in those places? These things are important. They are public knowledge. It's not hidden. These informations are out there. So when Nigerians want to vote, what the conversations should be going towards, let's critically look at these people that we are voting for. We've seen we know that we have the power to vote and it works. Do you understand? Yes, there might be conversations here and there about the electoral integrity, but fine, it works. Examples have come out. So the next phase of the conversation is the character of the people that you are voting in. Who are you voting in? What are their track records? What have they done? What is their? And if you even listen to, I listened to most of the declarations that happen. If you listen to the declarations, you will hear clearly these people's agendas. It's just for the fact that we might be careless enough to ignore it or overlook it. But when you listen to these things, you hear this. They say it.
Okay, Mr. GJ, to round up, because of time, we have to round up this conversation. 2023 is approaching faster than we can imagine. What should Nigerians be looking out for? I mean, well, you seem to be okay with this recycling pattern that we are having right now, but again, there are some crucial issues that needs to be maintained regardless.
Well, don't get it twisted. Myself and my colleague here are not, you see, you don't come on here and make beer parlor arguments as somebody who doesn't understand what the system is talking about. You know, many of us in Nigeria, we are very emotive and we are quick to dismiss and say, no, is he more? What did the court say when Yade defected or when Dave Umahi defected? They said there is no constitutional basis for us to remove you. Yeah. But the Justice Tao, I think he was the one that delivered Yade's. He said, as immoral as it is, there is no constitutional provision.
Exactly. So exactly the point. Should we be considering maybe looking at the Constitution so that we can take into some of this,
which
issues into
account? Which is one of the things to be done. Yes. Let's look at the Constitution. If you have served as governor, do you want to debar them from moving? It's also about Section 40 and Section 42 of the Constitution about fundamental human rights. Yeah. Is it within their right to contest? You see, the power of vote is so enormous if only we exercise it. The electorate has the power. And I've given you several instances from time past, not even in this Fourth Republic, where people have used vote as a protest to voice out against oppression, where you see an upset in an electoral contest. You know what happened in Imo? The people of Imo voted against some of the people who are today representing them. Yes. And we know what happened. And that has been taken care of now. That's part of the reason why in this electoral 2022, there is not a provision that says whoever is declared under duress, or if you induce or procure a result, INEC has 7 days within which to review that result. So you cannot put somebody under duress and say, declare me governor, declare me senator. That's maturity of our system. That's why we say we don't want military intervention. Let's continue to learn and make mistakes and correct our mistakes. The electoral has a law of power. And we got what we wanted with electoral 2022 about technology, the use of technology. It is not to hold INEC's feet to fire, to say you have to perform. You have no excuse. You've been giving money. 305 billion in 2022. So give us credible election. Let our vote count. If the vote counts, you will see more upset in 2023 than we have ever seen before.
All right. Well, thank you so much.